Hello and welcome to the No Butts About It YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am your host, Josh Butts. And this was a spontaneous live stream. This was not anything I was planning, but I was just sitting at home and I was like, I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm just really excited about the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe real quick. I would appreciate it. But also, I'm a Bengals fan, if you haven't figured that out already. And we should be excited. And we have a new headline to talk about. And it's not a huge thing for most fan bases. Most fan bases would see it and be like, okay, cool. But Zac Taylor has said today that he is going to step back and let new offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher take over some of the play calling duties on offense. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, if you go into the Bengals subreddit at any given time when the Bengals are losing, they could be down 3 points, they could be down 30 points. Almost every single comment will be complaining about Zac Taylor as a play caller. There are still people who say they want Zac Taylor fired. There are people that say, well, Zac Taylor is holding back Joe Burrow. Even the year they went to the Super Bowl, even the year right after they came back from the Super Bowl, when they went back-to-back AFC championships, there were still people who were not happy with Zac Taylor. They weren't happy with his play calling. And they said one of the main things that he needed to do was just step back and let someone else step in and take care of the play calling. Well, it's happened. We have got a new offensive coordinator in Cincinnati after Brian Callahan, who was the offensive coordinator for all of Zac Taylor's tenure, went and became the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, taking Tyler Boyd and Chidobe Awuzie with him. We're going to miss those guys, but time to turn over a new leaf. And the Bengals have. And I am excited for this offense. And I'm even more excited because I know now that we get to see something new. We're going to see stuff that we probably haven't seen before. Will Zac Taylor still have a say? Definitely. You're not going to just completely abandon the offense, especially an offensive-minded coach, which Zac Taylor is, and give it to your first-year offensive coordinator. But Dan Pitcher is a very smart coach. This isn't just the Bengals hiring from within. Dan Pitcher was being looked at by other teams for multiple years, and he stayed with Cincinnati. He stayed with Joe Burrow. I am very excited for this. And what I want to see more of, and it's been reported, this is what they're seeing in practice already, which is great, is I want to see more under center. I want to see more play action. The Bengals need play action. And last season, there was like no play action. And when there was play action, it wasn't a threat because they weren't running the ball at all. And so the teams weren't respecting the run. There was no reason for them to respect the run. Now, there is a reason for the Cincinnati Bengals to run play action. They have the assets to run the ball now. They have the players, the personnel. I mean, Joe Mixon was great. Every Bengals fan loved Joe Mixon on the field. He was a great player. But he was struggling at pass blocking. They decided to trade him. And that was a hard move. I don't think the Bengals took that very lightly. I don't think the Bengals fans took that very lightly either. In fact, when it was first reported that Joe Mixon was cut, there were a lot of fans that were very upset with the Bengals. And then they said, okay, no, wait, we're trading him. Actually, I don't know if that was kind of a recant or what happened there, but that's what the media reported. I want to see more running the ball. Zach Moss, bringing in Zach Moss, getting cheaper at the running back position, but also arguably better by running that running back committee. You don't need to have one bell cow running back in the NFL anymore. Gone are the days of just having your Adrian Peterson run the ball 50 times. No, we're going to have like probably 3 guys splitting up running back duties. You're going to have Zach Moss in on play action, probably getting those pass blocks. You got Chase Brown, he looked so good at the end of last season. He was so explosive coming in that end of that season off that injury as a rookie. I wanted to see more Chase Brown. I think everyone wanted to see more Chase Brown, and we're going to see more of that. And he's going to get more opportunities this way. And the Bengals offense is going to be completely new. It's going to be something we have never seen before in Cincinnati, at least at this dynamic and this impressive of a level. I just wanted to come on and just like mention that, because I feel like there's a lot of things about the Bengals that no one is talking about. What everyone is talking about with the Bengals is this guy right here, T. Higgins, talking about, hey, he's not going to come back and play with the team. He hasn't signed his franchise tag. What are we doing with him? Are we going to extend him? What are we doing? As far as I am concerned, until it is credibly reported that T. Higgins is no longer a Cincinnati Bengal, until it is credibly reported that, but probably by Joe Burrow himself. I don't even know if I would believe a lot of the media people, because T. Higgins' agent likes to do battle through the media, which is fine. It's just you have to be careful like what you're reading into too far with David Mulugheta. And we saw that with Adam Schefter said, oh, T. Higgins isn't going to be at OTAs because he hasn't signed his deal. Okay, that's exactly what happened with Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates ended up coming. As T. Higgins has said, I plan on playing right now. We don't know what will happen in the future, but I plan on playing the 2024 season with the Cincinnati Bengals. He has not said he's going to hold out. There's been no indication of that. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the wide receiver 1 and 2 on the team until I am shown otherwise on week 1. But there was one wide receiver that the Bengals did lose, and that was Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd ended up going over to the Tennessee Titans following Brian Callahan, and that's another loss where you're going to be like, I understand it, but I'm going to miss him. I really liked Tyler Boyd. I made a video about Tyler Boyd. I think the Titans are going to get a great leader for their locker room, and that's a great situation for them down in Tennessee, and they're getting someone who's already familiar with Brian Callahan's offense. That's great. But let's look at what the Bengals already went after. What did they go after in the draft? They've already gone after a wide receiver. They went after a wide receiver who could have been, in many instances, a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2. And on this team, he's going to be the wide receiver 3 for his first season. So let's look at what we're seeing in practice. We got Joe Burrow here. Joe Burrow is dropping back, and he just launches it. And Jermaine Burton catches that dime on the run. He saw it come. Let's watch that back one more time. That was beautiful. See, Joe Burrow's going to take the snap, runs, drops back, throw. Boom. Easy touchdown. And in the video where I talked about Jermaine Burton, where I said he could be an NFL draft class steal, thought he would go to the Steelers, but we ended up with him. I said he's going to be a deep threat. He is a quick guy. He's not fast. He's quick off the line, runs past his defenders a lot. I think he's a great signing for the Cincinnati Bengals. My only concern, and it's going to maintain a concern until I've seen him play a lot of on-field in-game snaps, is his attitude. And he has talked about his attitude before. He knows that he needs to stay calm, maintain not getting those stupid penalties. But Dan Pitcher has all of this stuff to work with now. Dan Pitcher has some great weapons for Joe Burrow to work with, and we can have a super dynamic offense. You still got, and we didn't even talk about Yoshi, Charlie Jones. We got guys who we don't even know what they can do. And that's exciting. That's exciting for the Cincinnati offense. We should, knock on wood, have Joe Burrow's first healthy offseason. No COVID, no appendicitis, no cramps. This is going to be all Joe Burrow with arguably the most diverse offense he's ever had. I mean, you have the ability now to actually run play action, which is huge. That is so big. And another guy, I feel like, okay, so we talked about Zach Moss briefly, but I feel like people just like forget about this signing. And there's another signing I feel like people forget about. Zach Moss got signed the same day that it was announced that Joe Mixon was cut. So that kind of took over, or maybe not the same day, but it was within that same time frame. And I feel like that kind of took over the media. Zach Moss was a top 10 running back in Indianapolis before Jonathan Taylor came back from his contract negotiations and his injuries and whatever was going on with that. Zach Moss was a guy. And he wasn't a guy in Buffalo, but he was a guy in Indianapolis. And I fully expect him to be a guy in Cincinnati. And that O-line's improved. We got 3 6'5" guys out there. We got Marius Mims. We got Orlando Brown Jr. We got Trent Brown. We've got Cordell Volson is our weakest link now. Okay. Let's figure it out. Let's run off the tackles if we have to, or just run right behind Alex Kappa. We won't even focus on Cordell Volson. We're going to be a passing team anyway, but we got a pass blocker now at the running back position, and his name is Zachary Moss. That's exciting. And then we're worried about Tyler Boyd. We're worried about replacing Tyler Boyd. How do the Cincinnati Bengals replace Tyler Boyd? And a lot of people are thinking Jermaine Burton is going to replace Tyler Boyd. And there's a little bit of truth to that. But I think, and I don't have the numbers with me right now, but it's something like 70% of this guy's snaps are from the slot, where Tyler Boyd liked to line up. And we got to put Jamar Chase in the slot more as well. But Mike Gesicki is a Cincinnati Bengal now. And I know in New England, he kind of rode behind Hunter Henry, but he also had Mac Jones throwing to him. Now, Mike Gesicki can line up in the slot. He can line up out wide like Tyler Boyd did. He can take some of those Tyler Boyd snaps from Jermaine Burton and help balance that out, help the rookie out. Mike Gesicki is going to be a problem for NFL defenses because he can line up in line as a true tight end, or he can line up on the outside or in the slot. And Jermaine Burton can line up on the outside or in the slot. This is going to be the best offense that the Cincinnati Bengals have had in the Joe Burrow era. They're going to be able to do everything. They're going to be able to run shotgun. They're going to be able to run under center. They're going to be able to run the ball, and that's going to lead to more successful play action passes. You're going to be able to run dagger routes with Mike Gesicki, and even having T. Higgins across the middle, Jamar Chase and Jermaine Burton going deep. We are going to see some beautiful deep ball plays this season already. I am telling you that. I am super excited for what we've got here on this offense. I just think that Dan Pitcher is probably just dreaming. He's probably like a little kid on Christmas right now because he just keeps getting gifted stuff. This is like building the ultimate team out of people that aren't necessarily big names, but they got the talent. The Cincinnati Bengals have the talent to make another Super Bowl run. They went in on protecting Joe Burrow. They went in on getting that tight end room some depth. They drafted 2 tight ends, Eric All and Tanner McLaughlin. If Eric All doesn't work out because of his injuries, Tanner McLaughlin's there. Tanner Hudson's there. You got Drew Sample, who I think Drew Sample's probably going to get moved more to fullback, but that again, that is another diverse offense option. You have guys in these spaces that you need them, and the Bengals didn't have to spend a ton of money to do it. And Joe Burrow is a quarterback who elevates the players around him. Joe Burrow is a guy who makes the players around him better players. And that is exciting as an offensive fan of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, though, I do want to talk about defense a little bit while we're here, while I'm just kind of saying all the things I wish I could say. I'm in Indiana. I'm not in Ohio, so there's not a ton of Bengals fans around. It's not football season. So I'm just kind of saying all the stuff I wish I could tell someone. And hopefully some people join in and talk, or maybe they join in the comments and we can talk later. But Sam Hubbard, this situation, I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, Sammy Hubbard is not great. He has fallen off. We need to cut Sam Hubbard. The only reason Sam Hubbard is still on the team is because he's from Cincinnati. He's got this Cincinnati darling story. If he wasn't from Cincinnati, he'd be already gone. And I think, respectfully, those people are morons. Because here's the thing about Sam Hubbard. Yes, he's from Cincinnati. Yes, he did struggle last season. He was also playing injured. We found out after the season that Sam Hubbard had to get some surgeries. He was playing injured. That was part of the reason he was struggling. Also, that defense was awful. Those safeties were awful. Dax Hill was not a safety caliber player, and we knew that as fans coming out of the draft, and they still tried to force him into that safety position, see if it would work out. It wouldn't. Now they've got Geno Stone that they signed, and they're moving Dax reportedly over to slot corner to help with like Mike Hilton, who I believe is in the last year of his contract. The safeties help the run offense, and there are very few defensive ends in the NFL who I would say are as good at stopping the run as Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard is arguably the best run blocking defensive end. And now, guess who's in the AFC North? Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry, the freight train. He's on the Ravens. So we're not cutting Sam Hubbard. If we cut Sam Hubbard as in the same offseason that Derrick Henry comes to the AFC North, in the same offseason that Najee Harris is in a contract year, in the same offseason that Nick Chubb is going to be coming back from injury, and we don't quite know who he's going to be, we're stupid. It's an awful decision. That's a terrible decision. I get it. I get the frustration. I get people are upset with Sam Hubbard not playing as well as he should. They're saying he's too expensive. He's not getting the sacks, but really he's there to stop the run. And I think with the safeties improving this season, you got Von Bell back in that room as well. And he's a great run blocking safety. He's great in the run game as a safety. I think that'll help. I think we're going to see that run game kind of, or that run defense kind of improve a lot more this season. And that should help Sam Hubbard being healthy. That's a big thing. Now, the other big name on defense that teams were the Bengals media is so weird. It seems like they just loved a dog on the team. So Trey Hendrickson, randomly one night, it was reported that Trey Hendrickson requested a trade. And everyone was just kind of like, oh, okay. Why? Like, what happened? There had to have been some sort of falling out, right? Like, is he mad that a player was drafted? Well, no, they didn't really draft any notable defensive ends that would be replacing Trey Hendrickson, obviously. And then it came out he wanted an extension. He wanted more guarantees in his contract because he is technically very underpaid. However, the problem with this situation is Trey Hendrickson couldn't be extended because he just got extended last offseason. So Trey Hendrickson is sitting at his locker, and they come up and they ask him like, "So, you're at practice now. Does this mean you're planning on playing for the Bengals again?" Basically, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm all in. We have the guys. We got the Super Bowls." He's like, there were some things behind the scenes that got confused. What I think happened personally, and I have no inside knowledge to this, is I think his agent screwed up. I think his agent was like, "Trey, you can definitely get more money. And if you get more money, I get more money." But what his agent didn't realize was that Trey couldn't get more money, at least not until late summer when he's been extended for a year. So starting this all now, that was just going to cause so many issues. They were unnecessary in offseason. And Trey, being the guy he is, being the upstanding leader that he is on that defense, he's just like, we're not going to do that. Let's just hang on. We'll get the money later when we get it. But this whole situation just made no sense. And all it did was lead to flaming in the NFL media of, "Oh, the Bengals now have two guys requesting trades." And one of them is their star sack leader, Trey Hendrickson, and the other one's one of their star wide receivers, and they're both going to be gone this year. There's not an indication at all that either one of them is going to be on in 2024. There's been no sign of that. T. Higgins is going to be there. I am confident, I say, that T. Higgins will be a Cincinnati Bengal on week 1 of the NFL season. That's just, I have no reason to doubt that. And I realize I said that about Joe Mixon because the last 3 years they said he was going to get traded. But I feel like the T. Higgins situation is a bit different. I think he will be a Bengal week 1. So Trey's not leaving. Trey will probably be a Bengal for the rest of his career. But other big draft pick that I enjoyed, thought was a great move by the Bengals to help out guys like BJ Hill and Sheldon Rankins, who they brought in from the Texans to be kind of a 3-tech veteran defensive tackle after the loss of DJ Reader. Is they're bringing in Chris Jenkins from Michigan. Chris Jenkins complements Sheldon Rankins' game so well. He's not going to be a big sack guy, which DJ Reader wasn't either. He was a pressure run blocking guy, and that's kind of what Chris Jenkins has. You'd like to see his game get balanced out a little bit more, maybe be a bigger issue for pass defenses, but I don't think that he's going to be a bad move. I think this was a great pickup by the Cincinnati Bengals, especially considering guys like Tavondre Sweat were gone. I believe that Johnny Newton was also gone by the time they got to the Bengals. So getting Chris Jenkins was a great move for the Bengals. The Mutant, that is an awesome nickname too. This is just between these 3 guys, I'm just super excited for the Cincinnati Bengals defense. I feel like the run game, just with those 3 guys being back and healthy and being in good spirits, will improve so much. And Von Bell being back, I didn't get a picture of him, but we all know what Von Bell looks like. Anyway, that's a great move. But this guy, Daniel Pitcher, I bet Brian Callahan is so jealous. I mean, Brian Callahan's working on his own thing down in Tennessee, but he's probably looking at the Cincinnati offense saying, they got some dudes. They got some dudes down there. They got some weapons in Cincinnati. Let's watch. We got to watch that clip just one more time. I mean, look at this. This is so beautiful. If they do this in a game, oh, come on. Jermaine Burton, you dog, and Dan Pitcher. I mean, look at those eyes. He's got plans behind those eyes, man. It is going to be a fun season. And I can already hear Chuss telling me to calm down, telling me to not get my hopes too far up. But they're up. They're high. They're so high. And if Amarius Mims pans out to who he's supposed to be, we've got another Willie Anderson on this team on a rookie deal. So it's going to be a fun time. So that's me kind of, I'm done. That's what I was talking about. I just wanted to kind of share that stuff out into the void. But if people have comments, questions, let me know. I see there's some people watching right now, so feel free to comment, and I will do my best to answer those questions for you. Or let me know what you're most excited about for the Cincinnati Bengals this offseason so far. Maybe there's something else you're looking for from the Bengals. But yeah, I mean, they had a great draft as well. They didn't sign any. There wasn't they've been very under the radar with a lot of their moves, which not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the most successful teams in the NFL have been built out of under the radar guys, people that you don't usually get used to seeing a lot in the media. For example, I don't like to just kind of say stuff, but this guy was a nobody when the Bengals signed him. Like, he had some good seasons, but Trey Hendrickson with the Saints, he wasn't super notable. I mean, Von Bell was more notable than Trey Hendrickson, but I feel like he still kind of got super noticed when he was in Cincinnati. Maybe it was just because I was paying more attention to him. All the tight ends that Joe Burrow has played with have been elevated, except for Irv Smith, which that was we don't talk about that. But CJ Uzoma, Hayden Hurst, you have who was the guy? I feel like there was one other guy that I'm forgetting about, but they both got elevated. They both got great lucrative deals after playing with Joe Burrow, and I think Mike Gesicki is probably the most talented tight end that Joe Burrow has had in a very long time. Very exciting for the Cincinnati Bengals. But I'm going to go ahead and finish up here since no one has any questions. Let me know, though, if you made it to this point. Make sure to drop some stuff down in the comments so I can make videos about it later on and talk about it. Maybe do a live stream as well. But I am super excited for this Cincinnati Bengals offense. I think that the team is going to be electric. It's going to be fun, and I am excited to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.